Manhunter, directed by Michael Mann, is adapted from the book Red Dragon by Thomas Harris. The basic premise of the book and movie is simple. Former FBI agent Will Graham must come out of retirement to help catch a serial killer who destroys entire families once a month on the lunar cycle. To get help getting inside the mind of the serial killer, he consults an infamous serial killer that he put behind bars previously, Hannibal Lecter, a cannibalistic psychiatrist who alternates between helping Will and sending secret messages to the serial killer, Francis Dollarhide, who believes he is possessed by the spirit of an evil dragon. One question that always comes up is, why is the movie called Manhunter and not Red Dragon? Well, apparently, because the movie came out shortly after Year of the Dragon, which was by the same producer, and that movie did very badly, so they forced the name change onto the film, stating that the producer didn't want audiences to think that they were connected to each other, and they also thought it sounded too much like a martial arts film. Oh well, Manhunter works too. These days, the film gets sort of a bad rap. But this isn't anything to do with its quality, but with the fact that its sequel is superior. But I'm not here to review the sequel, at least not today. I'll do that tomorrow. Today, I'm here to talk about Manhunter. Manhunter does make some changes to the plot of the book, but it's mostly in terms of taking out scenes to streamline the film and to simplify the ending by removing a twist that would have made the film longer. Less time is spent with the killer, Francis Dollarhide, who doesn't appear until halfway into the movie, to give more of a spotlight to Will Graham, who is played excellently by William Peterson. Other than the mild differences I mentioned, it sticks very close to the book, both in plot and tone, and it does an excellent job of making you feel like Harris's hard-boiled psychological procedural has come to life. I'm a big fan of the book, and Manhunter is an excellent adaptation, mostly due to the fact that they could not have possibly found a better choice of director than Michael Mann, who captures the feel of the broken-down, burnt-out cop returning because he's the only one who can capture a really sick individual doing really messed-up things. Since the film focuses so much on Graham, Dollarhide comes off as less sympathetic and more creepy than in the book, which for the purpose of a movie works fine. Like many of Mann's films, there is a great use of color here. Visually, the movie is all about the low light and shadows and stark contrast. Another reason that this film tends to stick out is the performance of Brian Cox as Hannibal Lecter, who was famously played afterwards by Sir Anthony Hopkins. I think it's almost unfair to compare them since they take very different approaches to playing the character. While Hopkins played up the cultured aspects of the character and did a great job portraying his insanity, Cox does a great job focusing on the character's devotion to his own personal whims and his way of mocking people that he sees as inferior. In other words, Cox plays Lecter as not so intimidating, but more like a regular guy that you might know who's kind of a jerk, which makes the character frightening if you stop and think about what he's done to people. Although the film strays from the book near the end, it's a loyal adaptation to the essence and feel of the novel, and while it got overshadowed by the Academy Award-winning sequel, this doesn't diminish the film's achievements. It's definitely worth watching. I just wish they kept the twist ending in, as I would have gladly watched for another 15 or 20 minutes just to see it through to its true conclusion. I give it an 8 out of a possible 10.